So I'm going to share with you how to copy, paste, and undo different photos. We're going to talk about the blue boundary box and how you can use it to resize or flip an image. And then we're going to talk about rotating using the circle that is on a stick of the blue boundary box. I'm also going to share with you how to crop an image by double clicking and set a frame shape. So this collage that I made was from objects in our slide, and I am going to show you when you open the link that you're going to get the make a copy. And you click make a copy. It is going to take a minute for it to load. There are a lot of images in this slideshow, so give it a chance, because if you check out here, there are quite a few pictures that you can start building a collage with. And the first thing I want to share with you is you can delete slides later, but don't worry about deleting anything now. If you don't want to use it, just leave it. And these are actually backgrounds, so you won't be able to move these images, but later, as you can see here where I have a picture as the background, we will set a background. So if you want to do a portrait facing the side with the nose, or if you want to do a portrait facing forward, this gives you a chance to kind of use that as a general shape, so that as you're adding elements in or adding photos in, you can start to build a face. And you can build it in any way that you want. So I am going to start by thinking about my background, and I'm going to start with this loaf of bread. I am going to grab Control C. If you do not want to use Control C, you can also right click and hit copy. And then I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to say Control V, or I could right click and I could hit paste. And I'm going to click on this, and now I have a blue boundary box. All of these, the little blue boxes, will let you expand. The ones that are in the center are only going to let you expand in the direction that you've set. If you grab a corner though, you can, it's called scaling. It will select it and allow you to stretch it. I am going to put that back where it was and stick this up top as my head. And I am creating the size that I want. If I would like to make this rotate, there is a stick with a blue circle up top, and when I grab it, you can change the angle of the photo. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the angle of the photo, and here is my bread hair that I'm going to start with. And then maybe what I'll grab next is some cheese. I'm going to hit Control C, bring it up here, hit Control V, and I am just building a background for the face, and I'm going to make this as big as the bread. But you know what? I would like to rotate this so that it's flipped. Flipping an object means I'm going to grab it where the arrow pops up, and then I'm going to simply pull it the opposite direction. When you see that red line, that allows you to know that it's the exact same size but flipped the opposite way. If you were flipping an object that has lettering, the lettering would flip backwards. So just be aware of that. But since we're working with food, none of our objects have that situation. And then I think I'm going to grab this cauliflower. And so even though these images are quite small, you'll notice that they do stretch, and you can resize them. And I think I'm going to make this most of the head. And then I'll pop my cheese back as my ear. All right. And if I want my bread to be on top of the cauliflower, you have this thing called order. Like, what layers do you want these to be? If you imagine the pictures like cards, you can have cards sitting on top of each other. But if I want to bring this card or this picture forward, I'm going to right click, and where it says order, there is bring forward and bring to front. Bringing forward means it's now on top of the cheese because that was the second object. And then if I were to bring to front, it brings it to the very top of the object. So now that I've got that, I don't actually like it. I'm going to use the undo, and there are two places you can do this. There's a click undo, or you can hit Control Z. And you can keep hitting Control Z until you get it back to where you want it. I am going to drop down, let's see. I'm going to add, for my nose, a candy corn. Control C, Control V. And for this one, I've got a lot of extra space around my boundary box. I'll move it over here so you can see it better. If I want to cut down on some of this extra space, I'm going to double click it and these black bars pop up. This is a crop feature, so I can select it. I can also, as I go, I can also make it small enough that it now, when I click enter, sorry, I'll show you that again. Whenever you have the black box and you click the enter key or you click away from it, then it will size it to that. I'm going to flip this over or rotate it, and I'm going to keep rotating it, and then I'm going to stick it right here for my nose. So now I'm starting to build up the face. If I wanted to, I could also make the cauliflower just the size of the face. And if I want to, I can also send this back. I right-click order, send to back, and then I can kind of tuck my nose back there. I am also feeling like I like the cauliflower, but the green is really distracting. And I could try to use the double click and cut out as much as I can. Whoops. By the way, if you grab the blue box instead of the black box, you'll end up making it smaller, but the black box is what the frame is. And you can always hit undo. I don't think that this is going to work the way I want it to. I don't want to just cut a rectangle out. I'd like to just get that cauliflower shape. So I'm going to go up here where the crop tool is, and there is a little triangle that gives me the shapes. And I'm going to find the circle. You see this circle shape right here? I'm going to size my boundary box in and move my picture to where I want it. And what's happening is it's going to cut out a circle frame. And I'm going to click enter. And now I have just a frame of cauliflower without all that crazy green. I'm going to size that. And maybe I'll even rotate it so that the little bit of green that I do see is at the bottom. All right. And now I'm ready for my next piece. So we are going to go over the tools one more time as I take this egg. If I wanted to make this the eyeball, I'm going to hit Control C, or I'm going to right click copy. Then I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to hit Control V, or I could hit right click paste. And I can size this by grabbing a blue box to make it smaller. I can rotate it by grabbing that circle on the top. Or if I wanted to, I can also flip it. And once I see that red line, I know it's the same size, but as a flipped image. And there is my eyeball. And I think I want some sweet potato eyebrows. Here we go. And I need a mouth. And I want, for my mouth, I'm going to take this kiwi, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to cut this kiwi in half by double clicking. And you'll see some of these images have other images hidden in them, but I'm going to slide this over and hit enter. And that I've cropped half of the kiwi out. So when I size it up and whoops. Once you get to a lot of objects, you'll see that sometimes you'll accidentally click on objects and rotate. And there's my mouth so far. And you're going to keep adding. Remember that if you want to change the order, you can right click, go to order, and say send to back. And there we go. And please, please, when you are done, you need to put your name, not leave it as copy of SC Archimboldo. You need to delete that and write your name. So my name is Miss Cozier. And I'm going to click share. And then this is where you would type MK Cozier. Remember that since I am Miss Cozier, my name automatically pops up, but you would here type MK Cozier and it would pop up, and you're looking for the one with the little blue dancing guy. That makes sure you're sending it to me. All right, have fun.